bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey, eh?
God bless football, Stugotz.
Thank you. Championship weekend. God bless football to you, Mike Fuentes. We appreciate your help here. Championship weekend is upon us. What's the matter, Billy?
Because I'm witnessing something that I've always been curious about. Mike Fuentes walks around here every day with like those, it's like those eye like therapy things that are gold that you put underneath your like eyes for your eyelids or whatever.
Yep.
And he walks around and he has them like do it like in the makeup room. And I've always been curious as to
like he's the star of the show, right?
Well, yes. And no, but like most days, today we're recording this at least while he's doing it. But most days it's just like the middle of the day and he's walking around with it. And I feel like he's abusing like the makeup privilege. Like I'm assuming that gets charged and you're just walking around and you're just exfoliating or hydrating your face or whatever it is that you're doing.
Listen, I represent Meadowlark Media as an individual. And I think because of that, it's my duty to look my best at all times.
Right.
And because of that, I use these eye patches to control puffiness and color underneath my eyes.
Okay. But I would say for a behind the scenes, and don't take that the wrong way, that's what you are, behind the scenes person, you are getting more makeup than anyone else. I mean,
out of all the other behind the scenes people? Yes.
Okay.
To be completely fair, I have seen days that neither him nor Jeremy are on air and they're both walking around with that treatment on their face.
I just care about my eyes.
Like more is being done for your eyes and your face than most of the people that have makeup put on that day. There was a time that we used to come in and everyone would like that would be put on, and it's like slimy and it's like cold and whatever.
Right.
And that stopped, except for you. You continue to do this every single day.
Some people just care more than others. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Why were you telling me you're concerned about the Chiefs?
Oh, I didn't know that Isaiah Pacheco was a little banged up.
A little banged up.
Yeah, I saw a report that said him and Deebo Samuel, and if you take those two guys away from, Deebo Samuel is very important for Brock Purdy.
I was going to say they're on different teams.
Yeah, and I feel, I got a little caught up in
Different
here. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
But
you're saying if you take those guys, if you take Deebo off of San Francisco, then Detroit, you would probably take Detroit. If you tell me Pacheco is going to be banged up and not give you a productive game, you would probably say the Ravens are going to win, which I would tell you the Ravens are going to win anyway.
Well, I think Pacheco has become 80% of the Chiefs' offense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then when it comes to Deebo, we saw Purdy without Deebo against Green Bay.
Okay.
Detroit's a much better defense than Green Bay.
We need to be easy on him because he was here for part of Tony's 24-hour thing yesterday.
Well, that's why I was trying to explain what it is he was trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm a little out of it.
How late were you here? Because you were not here the whole time.
Well, no, I didn't sleep here, but my original plan was to stay till like 11, and we ended up leaving at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a text from Taylor at 2:30 in the morning letting me know that he was home.
All right.
Because I was worried about him, Stugotz, because he rides in on a scooter.
Yes.
And he rode home at 2 in the morning.
Very dangerous.
I told Tony, let him take your car. You're going to be
because Tony
here.
wasn't leaving anyway.
Or take an Uber. I mean,
no. The best part was what Billy said. Let Taylor take the car.
Yeah,
because you're not going anywhere anyway.
Yeah,
right.
He'll bring it back. You'll have it for tomorrow.
He refused to do it.
Yes,
you would think he drove like a brand new Ferrari the way he acted.
Yeah. Anyway.
Clay Matthews is going to join us. He'll be our first guest on the television side. Chris Sims will join us on TV as well. On the audio side, those two guys will be there, and Austin Eckler are going to be there. Some big news with the Chargers this week, getting Jim Harbaugh to be their head coach. I wonder if that changes what Austin Eckler is thinking,
Reading between the lines, I don't think it's changing anything.
Really?
Listen to the podcast. I feel like...
Do you hate when I do that and I already know the answers?
No, I'm just... spoiler alert. Let's see if it changes something, but...
Harbaugh is going to be great there. Like, when you think about Jim Harbaugh and the fact that he took the San Francisco 49ers, once with Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe, and once with Colin Kaepernick, who was a very talented quarterback, Garoppolo not so much, took those guys to the Super Bowl. Imagine what he's going to do with Justin Herbert.
Well, I mean, the challenge is they're in cap hell. They have free agents, and they have older stars, so...
Yeah.
It's not going to be immediate what he's going to do, I wouldn't think. I mean, unless they're able to finagle their way around some of that stuff.
And the Chargers defense is miles away from where that 49ers defense was.
No, but I do think that Harbaugh is one of those guys. I don't think there's many of them, but he's one of those guys that can really impact a quarterback and a quarterback's play. And so to have that quarterback, Justin Herbert, and have that coach with that quarterback, because Brandon Staley was a defensive coach, It's interesting to me. By the way, Brandon Staley is rumored to replace Vic Fangio as the Dolphins' defensive coordinator. How about that?
We'll see.
What do you mean? We'll see.
We'll see what happens there.
You don't like talking about things that might happen. You like to wait until they happen, don't you?
I'm a very factual person.
You
know
are,
what I mean?
huh?
I don't like hypotheticals. I don't like fun and games, shenanigans, tomfoolery. That's not what I'm about.
Right.
I'm about cold, hard facts.
A cold hard fact for you: John Harbaugh had
Who?
left.
Who?
Harbaugh?
Jesus,
What?
stop talking.
I know,
Charlotte?
it's 2 a.m. It's,
I
Charlotte
regret
Harbaugh.
going to you at all,
I
to
know
be
it.
honest with you.
Harball.
it's so late. It's so late in the afternoon.
Are you talking
I
about
can't
Jim or
believe
John? I think you called him Jarlin.
Who's the one that just got hired?
Jim,
John.
what were you going to say? Jesus, don't do that to him, Billy.
So Jim
Facts
Harbaugh.
only.
He was fired from the 49ers. And hold on, I got it here. He was fired from the 49ers.
Yeah.
And
You're making me tired.
I know I'm.
Wait, you were so eager to get to this and you don't even have
yeah,
it
because
ready.
it's
You're
just-
like, hold on, I'll get back to you.
I mean,
Harbaugh was fired from the 49ers
Yeah.
in 2014. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't the quarterback till 2017, so there's no way he could have taken Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl.
I can't
That's
say
we're talking
any-
about facts.
I
Okay.
can't say anything because
thank you.
this was me last Friday. Last Friday is
Yeah, no, I
where
know.
he was.
I
Yeah.
know.
We've
It's tough.
we've all been here. It's
Wait.
late in the afternoon.
Jim Harbaugh has been to how many Super Bowls? He's been to one. He did so with Colin Kaepernick. He went to the NFC Championship game as well.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. All right. I just think with Justin Herbert, he's going to have.
So he's right.
He
Even
was right.
in that state, no Jimmy Garoppolo.
Wait, it took
in the
us
Super Bowl.
7 minutes to get there, but he's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Mikey.
Jim Harbaugh never did any of that. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
never
Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Jerron Harbaugh
John
never
Harbaugh
did any of that.
I have a pressure meter. If you guys are interested,
Whoa.
a pressure meter. This is quarterbacks and coaches combined. Okay, so there are 4 quarterbacks, 4 coaches left in the NFL playoffs.
Okay.
And so I combine the coaches and the quarterbacks, and I will tell you who has the least amount of pressure, who has the most amount of pressure. Are you
Okay.
interested in that?
No.
But you said on the front end, you went, ooh.
I know. Well,
You supported me on the front end, and then you bailed on me when I'm ready to go.
A good teammate. You know?
I am interested.
best.
I was just curious to see what would happen if I said no.
I know you're not interested, but can you fake it for me? I mean, for me in the audience?
I'm interested. I'm super interested. I'm more interested.
What's
in
the
this than
scale
anything.
here?
Yeah.
What's the scale here?
What do you mean the scale?
Little bit, lot of it. What's
I just go
how you rating?
I go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's got the most
Okay.
pressure? Coaches and quarterbacks.
Okay.
There are 4 quarterbacks and 4 coaches
And
left.
there's 8 on this.
Yeah, 8, 7,
you.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I thought it was a combination of which quarterback and coach.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I thought there was only 4 things.
glad we're
I actually
ironing
like
this
like
out.
this better, the way he's doing it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
well,
longer.
because certain coaches have more pressure on them than their actual quarterbacks do.
Gotcha.
That's
That
all
makes
I'm saying.
sense.
Okay. So are you guys ready for it?
Yeah, I got fanfare ready. Let's go.
Okay.
ahead.
This is great.
I'm ready.
All right, number 8. This is the person who has the least amount of pressure on them. Okay? Coach or quarterback.
Yeah.
Number 8, Dan Campbell. Season's already been a success. He has won 2 playoff games for the Lions, which is essentially like winning 2 Super Bowls. He's already won the playoffs.
That's
Dan
a really
Campbell.
good take.
Thank you.
It's true.
Right, it is. It is. I mean, God forbid he wins a 3rd and a 4th.
If he wins the Super Bowl, start building the statue.
Thank you. All right, number 7,
Yeah.
Jared Goff. He's also won the playoffs, and he's kind of won 2 Super Bowls as well. He has more than Stafford. How about that?
Detroit legend.
Yeah. All right. So Fuentes agrees with me
I'm,
so
I'm
far.
all aboard. Yeah.
Okay, Mikey, how do you feel?
Definitely Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. We'll see.
You think he has some
See
pressure?
what else you got.
All right, let the list
I
play
think
out.
maybe not 7th.
Okay. Number 6, Patrick Mahomes. He's won 2. He's considered an all-time great. It would be nice to win a 3rd Super Bowl here. It's not necessary, but a 3rd would put him into a conversation or start getting him close to a conversation with Tom Brady.
Let's see how this
I
next
disagree
one
this
goes.
one.
I'm a
No,
little, I'm a little worried
no,
that
I
a
kinda
pattern
feel
may
this
be
is-
forming here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 5, John Harbaugh.
Okay, good.
A 2nd would be nice, but no one cares what the Harbaughs do, even if they cheat. I mean, no one cares. If he wins, great. He wins a 2nd. If he loses, no one cares. He's going to be the head coach next year. There's no pressure on him.
Yeah, but if Jim gets 1,
Huh.
then it's really
Okay.
John.
Right.
You got to think about next season for that.
That would be next year. Yeah.
Well, no, Jim's not going to win this year.
That's what I'm saying.
John Harbaugh goes to Michigan, wins a national title.
Harbaugh.
Stick it in his brother's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hard balls.
The hardballs.
Okay, 4.
All right. That was number 5. Number 4, Andy Reid. A third Super Bowl puts Andy Reid in the Bill Walsh conversation. How about that?
We all know who number 1 is, right?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Huh.
You're going to change it up now.
Who do you think it is?
I'm not going to tell you.
Tell me who it is.
I'm going to write it down.
Because
Tell
you'll
me who
change it up just to
You
Tell
will.
me who it is.
All right, number 3.
Number 3, Brock Purdy. Blah, blah, blah. Purdy will have to play better this week than he did last week if the 49ers want to get past the Detroit Lions. Only 2 choices remaining.
Yeah. Both of them could easily be number 1, depending on the day.
True.
To you,
Yep. Did you write it down?
in my head.
I did.
Okay. Number 2, Kyle Shanahan.
Yep, nailed it.
Yeah, I wrote it down right.
Blah, blah, blah. Seriously.
That's not analysis in any way.
I'm
Blah, blah,
tired
blah.
of
Seriously.
Shanahan.
Wait.
NFC Championship games, Super Bowls, NFC Championship games, Super Bowls. How about you go win one? Just go win one. Everyone says you have the most talented roster. Go win a Super Bowl.
I'm
Tired
arguing.
of him.
I'm arguing against that. The word seriously is not analysis.
Okay.
That's Stu's best analysis.
Thank
'Cause
you.
Seriously.
All right, so you guys wrote it. Well, there's only one remaining. So,
Yeah, no, we were all right.
okay.
We knew you were going to do Lamar.
What did, spoiler alert. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. If not now, when? I mean, it's all sitting in front of him, including the greatest quarterback that's ever lived, strolling into his stadium. With
And
no
let me
pressure.
add blah, blah, blah.
Seriously. Billy, very exciting.
Yeah.
Clay Matthews is going to join us. I mean, a handsome devil, a great head of hair. I am very excited for this. It is presented by DoorDash. And let's start right there, Clay. What are you doing with DoorDash? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I teamed up with DraftKings this year. We've been putting on a weekly fantasy football contest with DoorDash and DraftKings. It's called the Challenge DoorDash and Clay Matthews contest. We've been doing it all year with opportunities to win cash prizes, gift cards, and we're continuing all the way through the playoffs. So it's free to join. Come challenge me. Come challenge DoorDash. And if you're feeling good about your lineup, you're already in the contest, then you're looking for something to eat and struggling with that, then call DoorDash. They'll deliver right to your door. It's as easy as that.
What was it like? Billy loves DoorDash, by the way. He's a big DoorDash guy, aren't you?
Big DoorDash guy.
You are a big DoorDash guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clay,
it
what
doesn't
was
get
it?
much easier than that.
What was it like growing up in a house filled with football players? Like, what was that like?
It was just business as usual for me. I didn't think, we were any different. It was just whereas most fathers probably worked Monday through Friday, mine worked on Sunday. So for me, it wasn't much different. It was just kind of the family business. It's what you talked about around the dinner table, Thanksgiving when you got together with uncles and grandparents. I mean, everybody had a story to tell. And I think, that's what helped with my career, especially early on, is just being a part of that lineage and understanding the expectations and everything that comes along with it.
What do you miss most about the NFL?
It's cliche, but it's the locker room.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I thought it was pretty telling. My first year off, I was kind of staying in shape, ready for a call. And it felt good on Sundays just watching the game and not having that, anxiety and level of stress, in which case I was eating a lot fattier meats and a few more alcoholic drinks. But it's got to be the locker room, just kind of going in there every day and having that banter, bringing all your boys together and working towards a common goal. Now I'm at home with my 3 kids, trying to raise them the right way, and the conversations aren't as fruitful as the locker room, shall I say.
Yeah, but now you get to order actual fun food from DoorDash, not like protein stuff, low carb this. Like, get to enjoy your life.
The BMI has been ticking up, so it is a lot of fun, but every once in a while, you got to look in the mirror. So I agree with that, but this New Year's resolution might be a February resolution.
What was the exact resolution? Lose weight? I mean, you look great, man.
No. Actually, I really don't make a resolution like that. I've never really done that. I think I tried that years ago. I'm like, I'm going to floss a lot more. And, I think that lasted for however long, like everybody in America. But no, I didn't make any resolutions. I'm enjoying the retired life. I'm enjoying where I'm at in life. And, raising these kids and helping them. I was helping them with their passports in school last night, these pretend ones. We were learning about China and South Korea. So I'm actually learning a lot. Like the capital of South Korea is Seoul. It has a little under 10 million people there.
Chief export.
It has the fastest internet in the world.
Really?
Wow.
Bet you guys didn't know that.
You have a chief export or anything from South Korea, or no? We haven't gotten there yet.
I didn't dig that deep. But another interesting fact about South Koreans is that when you are born, you are considered to be 1 year old.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't like that. I like building up to 1 year,
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they consider, when the time in the womb and then they just round up. But, I saw it on 3 websites, so it has to be correct. I haven't confirmed it with anybody, that might actually know this, but these 3 websites for kids said it was true.
It's triple confirmed. That seems like a fact to me.
Just like Twitter.
Mikey, did you say their chief export was Wi-Fi?
Yeah, based on what he just said.
Look at you, Clay Matthews.
Wi-Fi.
Look at you. Oh my God, that is funny. What will this Sunday look like in your house? Like, will you watch the games? Are you ordering wings? Like, how does it look for Clay Matthews in the house on Sunday?
I like to watch the games alone. Sometimes I'll have my brothers over and we'll watch, but with other friends, I really like to focus on the game. And man, I was disappointed after the Packers lost last week. So I will watch naturally as a football fan. I enjoy the game. I love the game. I love watching. My wife knows on Sunday morning, I do a couple loads of laundry, wash the dishes. And then once red zone starts, she knows I'm checked out for the day. So this weekend, she'll get a little more time with me as we only have 2 games, but I'll watch them for sure. And, I'm enjoying it. I'm always a little disappointed when the season ends and, you got to move on to basketball or whatever's next.
Were you surprised to see that Jordan Love was kind of able to just step in after Aaron left? Because obviously the Packers have had a great run. You have Brett Favre, then you go right into Aaron Rodgers. You draft Jordan Love, but he sits there a couple of years. You're not exactly sure. You have an idea of what he's going to be, and that's why, you're fine letting Aaron go to New York, trading him to New York, but you don't know until he plays. And then he kind of just showed he can do it.
Yeah, I think for the first part of this, 2023 season, you kind of had those growing pains with not only him, but the young receivers. And I think they were almost anemic on offense in the first half. And then that second half of the season, he just caught on fire. I remember I showed my wife, I don't think she really cared, but I rewound the game because he made a throw against one of these teams where it looked like Favre, it looked like Rodgers, and it looks like they've got a quarterback of the future who's going to be a stud. And obviously he showed that, through the second half of the season, through the playoffs. Like he said, he wishes he would have had that last throwback, that last throw back. But it's all part of the growing and maturation process. But it was fun to watch. They were a fun team to watch. The latter part of the season.
Clay, can you take us through that? The rewinding of a play. Like, does your wife fake interest? Does she give you at least that?
Yeah.
What happens there?
I used to give my dad such a hard time. This was back when we had Tebow, and it made the little noise. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was, it made it. Yeah, exactly. And Dad, come on, stop. And then here I'm doing it with my kids and my wife who just don't care. I'm looking at just the little nuances of the game,
Sure.
Whether it's, how the tackle's sitting in his stance, how, is the receiver within 5 yards so you can kind of knock him down? Is the quarterback out of the pocket? So I watch it a little differently than I'm assuming most fans, but yeah, my kids, they're a little too young to appreciate, what I'm looking at, maybe in time. And I think my wife just rolls her eyes, but hey, it brings me joy. So it keeps me quiet.
You're getting old. Like, you're getting to that point where you start then telling the kids, like, oh, this isn't real football. This isn't football I played.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
No, I've actually already started doing that. And I do it a little bit in jest because, when my dad played, he retired in, I believe it was 96. And the money then was not what it was In my rookie year, before playing a down in the NFL, I signed a check for, I think, more money than he had made in his entire career. And now I go to my dad, I go, Dad, I should have played a couple more years. These pass rushers nowadays are making, X amount more than I ever was. So that's just the nature of being a crusty old vet once you get out of the league, is you got to find something to complain about, and salary's the low-hanging fruit.
I like the idea of you telling your dad, like, yeah, I have things to do. I'm going to go. I have to talk about DoorDash. And like, back in my day, we used to drive to get our own food if we were hungry.
We used to walk uphill both ways to get our sandwiches.
Does Dad do that to you? Like, what's this DoorDash?
Oh, I don't think he's ever used it. I think he still calls in and still does takeout. In fact, I'm going to give him a call right after this and let him into this wonderful world of these little fees. But you can get food delivered to your house. It's unbelievable.
Burgers, chips, dips, soda, pizza, wings, anything you want, straight to your door, Dad.
Way.
Is it? But it's not your dad's America. I mean,
well, that's true. Isn't that every generation as we get older?
It's so funny. Wait, so you're watching TV, you're watching the games. Do you blurt out like dad things? Like, I'll say in front of my kids, like they miss an extra point, that's going to come back and haunt them. What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, going back to that Packers game, they had two dropped interceptions that were gimmies, absolute gimmies.
Right.
For whoever was listening in my house, which was probably 0 people, I said, you can't do that at this point in the season and expect to win the game.
Right.
Fast forward to the end of the game, obviously with that missed field goal, those 2 drop picks, I would say those were the crucial parts of the game, which is why I didn't come out on top, even though I felt like, as most people would agree, they played better than them and looked like a better team until, the very end. So, yeah, I mean, I do have a lot to say.
Does your family like watching the Super Bowl with you, and do you like watching it with them? Because it feels like the arrangement might be best for you guys to all just watch it in separate rooms from each other. Because I think you want to watch the actual game and rewind and break things down, and they want to watch the commercials and not pay attention to anything you're talking about.
Well, fortunately, coming from a football family, I think we're all in the same boat. It's the commercials and the pageantry, everything that goes along doesn't mean a whole lot to us, but ultimately the gameplay, the plays being made from certain individuals, that's what we kind of focus on. So for us, it's a little different. I guess I should clarify when I say, while I enjoy watching it alone, I do enjoy watching it with like-minded people who have played in the NFL, people who understand the nuances of the game, where, it's not just you're rooting for your team, but you're rooting for certain players. You understand scheme and angles and all that.
Clay, I know the Ravens seem, the Chiefs are terrifying, but the Ravens seem overwhelming, and it seems like it's Lamar's time. What do you think?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think they've been on the cusp for so long, and with how well their defense has been playing, and Lamar being such a wild card. I think last week he had over 100 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. It's such a killer on third down, second and long when the play breaks down, and he's able to do that with his feet. You can't account for him every play. You put your guys on an island when that's the case. If you do, that's what happens. Excuse me. If you don't, he's able to just make plays. And not only that, too, he's not just such a dynamic runner. I mean, he's been doing it with his arm now. And like I said, their defense has been playing outstanding. So it'll be a fun game to watch. I think the Ravens will take it. But, the Chiefs are rolling. They know how to turn it on. It was a little struggle this year, but they're playing well, beating a very confident Buffalo team up there. So I wouldn't be surprised. I know that's the PC answer, but I see Baltimore taking it.
Clay Matthews is with us. It's presented by DoorDash. Have you fallen in love like the rest of the country with Dan Campbell?
Yeah. I don't know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody. I was talking with somebody within the Packers organization, and obviously after that tough loss, and I was just saying how I'm pulling for Detroit with so much history with the 49ers and them seeming to have Green Bay's number back to when I was there and Kaepernick and all that. So, but yeah, I mean, Detroit's just a team that I feel like they're a team you want to pull for, you want to root for, with Campbell as their coach. I mean, coming in there and the biting kneecaps and starting off with however many straight losses, and to get to the point where they're at, where they play hard, they represent the city. So I don't know if I'm getting soft and removed from the game, and I don't respect the loyalty of Packers, what that means to play in the NFC North, but they're a fun team to watch. I'm hoping they can get it done. It's going to be, a tough ask, but I think they have the ability to get it done. We'll see. I'm rooting for them.
You mentioned that you were washing dishes earlier. Billy loves to wash dishes. In fact, he did it on the show with Peter King yesterday. He was washing dishes. Peter King wasn't. Do you find that cathartic, the doing of dishes?
Oh, yeah. And it's like logging hours, It's like you do the things that your wife can see, then you feel like you can take some time off later, like the grunt work. For me, I throw on some AirPods, some headphones. I got the YouTube, I got some podcast streaming, and I just zone out. A lot of times the kids are fighting. It's just my way to escape reality, and I just get to do some dishes. But yeah, I mean, there's a certain way I load the dishwasher as well. I'm very particular about it, so it's very cathartic, and I like a clean house, a clean environment.
When you do the dishes and you're having like your you time, you ever wash the same dish like 3 or 4 times because you're like, what? Let's. I just need a little more time here. Let me drag this out a little bit.
I'm a big SOS guy. I get the steel wool pads on the stainless steel pans, try and get that black stuff off.
Yeah,
they come out sparkling. And then, the very next night, something's burned on it, and, I let it soak overnight. I love it.
Wait,
I spend time there.
Are you guys saying that, do you have to do it when your wife is present, or there's just proof that you did the dishes? Like, how does this work for you?
That's, it's a case-by-case basis. It depends, how busy she is. Like, if she's hanging around like on her computer or something, you really want to show her you're working hard. But if she's working hard, as long as you get it done, then that goes a long way.
It depends on sometimes you just need to see the results there, like everything's clean over there.
Right.
And then sometimes, to Clay's point, you're logging hours. Like you're making sure you're being watched and you're on the clock, and sometimes things take a little slower.
I like the idea of Clay's wife being outside laying out by the pool and him going out of his way to show her that he's doing the dishes. Like, hey honey, got a question. He walks out with a dish, a sponge, he's got the whole thing going,
If you ask her, I think she's logging in a lot more hours than I am with the kids. So I think I'm just trying to maintain that bar,
right?
Where we're on the same playing field.
What's the best way to load your dishwasher? Because I feel like everyone has figured their own specific situation out, but like I'm open for tips if you have something that I haven't thought of.
Well, I like to pre-wash really well, to the point where if someone were to open it, they would think they were clean. So that's step number 1. Step 2 is let's go to silverware. I like to organize them, knives, spoons, forks. I also have a separate compartment for the kids, little cutlery and silverware. Then you got the oddballs, the straws for the hydro flask. You have your paring knives and whatnot. Then I start with the plates, biggest,
largest to smallest.
Work their way down. Plastic likes to go on the second tray.
Yeah, because it'll melt.
It's usually not dry in the morning. You got to get a nice towel, cotton towel, and dry it off. So I mean, it's science, but I've mastered it.
You know what I found, Clay, and I don't know, your dishwasher's probably different than mine because they're all different, but mine, like where you put the cutlery, like the knives, forks, all of that, the handle for it is by the side, but the handle is right above some of the slots that you do. So I always put the knives in the back because there's always the situation. I try to put the spoons underneath the handle. So when I go to grab it, I don't accidentally poke myself or stab myself with like one of the forks or one of the knives,
You must have an older dishwasher. Nowadays, they come with like a third shelf at the top where you can put some knives and whatnot so you don't cut yourself. But
like
we can continue this conversation after this interview.
I love this. Well, no, I'd like to continue it every week if you don't mind. I want you to do playoff dishes. Can we do playoff dishes next week?
I'm down. Let's do it.
Yes, Billy will do dishes. You'll do dishes. We'll talk football together. Is that cool?
That sounds great.
I love it. This is great. Playoff dishes. All right, Clay, we appreciate it. One more time on the way out here, tell us what you're doing again with DoorDash.
Yeah, so just to remind everyone, I teamed up with DraftKings this year. We've been putting on a weekly fantasy football contest, the Challenge DoorDash and Clay Matthews. Entry is free. You have a chance to win cash prizes, gift cards, and we are continuing it through the playoffs. So join, play me. I draft my own lineup. And then if you feel good about it, you're already in the game, in the contest, and don't feel so good about what you're eating, then you got to go through DoorDash and have some food delivered right to your door for this weekend's game. So appreciate the platform.
You got it, man. Quick yes or no on the way out here. The New York Jets, yes or no, will trade for Jordan Love in the year 2037.
It only seems right. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Clay. This was a lot of fun. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, time to talk to Chris Sims here, our weekly segment with Chris Sims. No Billy today, Sims. Sims, you look great, by the way, but no Billy today. I don't know where he is, and Mikey A has not turned on his camera. I mean, we're a mess around here.
I'm not shocked. I mean, Mikey A probably took a few too many gummies, and he can't figure out where the on button is. That's not a surprise. Bill, I'm not surprised by Billy either.
Right.
I mean, that's just what Billy is. The bigger the stakes, whatever it is, he melts away. He fades away. He's like the Dolphins a little bit. It's like why he probably likes them. Playoff football comes around, he disappears. That's what I understand. That's the way he is.
Chris, this is right now, like this weekend, where I start to get sad. Even though we have two exciting games, we have Championship Sunday, and then we have 2 weeks off, and then the Super Bowl, I get sad because we have 3 football games remaining. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally with you.
Yes.
I mean, I'm the guy, okay, that organized senior cut day to be the day after the Super Bowl when I was in high school.
Right.
Because I was like, guys, like we all want to watch the game and have fun that night.
Yes.
Like, why don't we make senior cut day the day after the Super Bowl instead of like some stupid random day in April, right?
Yes.
And I rallied the troops together and got it. But it's a sad day. It is.
It is.
And it is a sad weekend. I was sad when Thursday night football went away. Now we got nothing to watch on Saturday, and it is just Sunday. So, yeah, it's coming to an end, but also, like, the ultimate excitement, too, for 2 football games. But, yeah, and, like, saddest day of the year for me every year is the day after the Super Bowl. It's like an emptiness in my soul. I'm with you there, Stugotz.
I'm so glad we arrived here because I've been telling LeBatard forever the Super Bowl should be on a Saturday. It should be on a Saturday. Why not? They have 2 weeks off. Super Bowl Saturday night.
I think to what you're saying here, and knowing enough people in the NFL, right? I think ultimately, and what I'd like to see is the NFL is going to try to get the Super Bowl always on President's Day weekend. So then you have that Monday off. Right. It's like a national holiday weekend. I think that's what they would like to do. That's what I've heard, through the rumorville that eventually we get there. I don't know how they'll figure that out with planning and the calendar and all that, but I'm with you. Exactly. Why? I mean, we know everybody in our country's watching TV, drinking liquor, eating like staying up late. The game doesn't end till 10-something, let alone now you got to drive home and whatever else. Like, yeah, should be a national holiday the day after the Super Bowl.
I love that you organized cut day, though. Like, how did that look? Like take me inside that conversation, Chris.
Well, I was good. I was a versatile friend, right?
Yeah.
I was quarterback meathead guy, but I was also like friends with some of the cerebral nerds and wouldn't let all the other meatheads ever pick on them.
Right.
So they were like, damn, we like Chris. I was also friends with the stoner potheads too. So they were like, oh, what, man? What? Dude, the Super Bowl's when? And I'm like, dude, it means we can stay up and smoke weed all night and not have to go. And they were like, cool, dude, let's do it. So I kind of rallied the leaders of all those little groups there, made my pitch. Head stoner was like, yeah, man, that's right. Let's do that. And then we got it all together and got everybody to vote the right way, and we made it, senior cut day.
You got support from all angles. You should be a politician, Sims. I mean, Jesus.
I've thought about it before. I try to be a man of the people. That's what I try to do.
You're still friends with a stoner. I mean,
yeah.
Talking about Mikey
yes.
Yeah.
I'm friends with all kinds of people. Yeah. I don't discriminate. That's for sure.
Before we get to the games this weekend, Chris, what were your thoughts yesterday as the news broke? Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan. He goes to the Chargers. He has the highest winning percentage of any coach in the NFL, which is amazing. He hasn't coached there in several years, but I think it's a perfect fit for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts?
Yeah. Agreed. A perfect fit. Justin Herbert, not the most vocal, right, demonstrative guy, right, compared to maybe some of the other superstar quarterbacks. Harbaugh's a guy where he's got the quarterback's back, right? He was all in on Colin Kaepernick with the 49ers, right? I mean, like, made him feel like, hey, I'm in this with you. I was in Michigan earlier this year. It's the same thing with those quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy, his best friend was Jim Harbaugh. I mean, and I was like shocked by all that. He's got a great way with the players. He'll make Herbert become a better leader. And then ultimately, with Jim Harbaugh, I like the fit because, like, yeah, he's not an X's and O's genius. It's not going to be like, oh, no, here comes Jim Harbaugh, and they're going to light up the scoreboard. No, he's really more of a overseer. He's going to get everybody in the organization on the same page. For an organization that's kind of been dysfunctional, right? They have injury problems. They haven't been able to run the ball. There's no physicality. They up game situations and clock management and all that. That is Jim Harbaugh's wheelhouse. He's going to make sure everybody in that organization is on the same page. Wait, why are we doing it this way? We got to fix it. Hey, we got to play this way. He is the ultimate coach of teaching his team not to beat itself and back to the basics a little bit. It's like what I grew up in. It's Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. We're going to hit. We're going to be physical. We're going to tackle well, right? We're not going to turn the ball over. We're going to do all the things we can do to control that we can control first, and then we'll go from there. And I think that's where he instills the basics back into an organization, and I think he'll be perfect for the Chargers, who lack a little toughness. Yes. And let's be serious, Stugotz.
Chris, it feels like Lamar's time, doesn't it? Like, it just feels like Lamar Jackson's time.
It does. It feels like it, but I don't know. It's like I don't count this damn group out of anything, right? Yep. I mean, I've never seen a team go this way the whole regular season like the Kansas City Chiefs, look like shit on Christmas Day, get in the playoffs and all of a sudden go, hey, we can just turn it on. And hey, now we're one of the most high-functioning, awesome offenses in football, even though we were inconsistent as hell the whole year. It's amazing, right? They're unlike any other dynasty we've seen. They don't care about distraction. They like being the big show. They don't care what they say, how you perceive them. Taylor Swift, Kelsey, take your shirt off. Let's go crazy, right? That's where I find them awesome. We've never seen a dynasty or a team be this good with this kind of flair, right? At least in my opinion. The Cowboys of the 90s might be the only team that'd be close to it. It'd be like, yes, we're here. Yep. We said we're going to beat you, and now we're going to come out and beat you, right? So that's where they're scary that way.
All right, follow me down this path, though, real quick, because I'm with you. Okay. Like, Mahomes has it sounds funny, but Mahomes, who has won 2 Super Bowls, he's been to others, he's won MVPs, he's done everything. This is a real opportunity. Those teams were supposed to win the Super Bowls the years they won them, Chris. This is different. No one expects this team to win the Super Bowl, and if he does it by beating Josh Allen in Buffalo and Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, this is a whole different animal we're talking about. Like, that's why I don't put anything past them. That's a point I tried to make earlier in the week. This is not, I think if they were home and the number 1 seed again, they might be like, oh, this is boring or whatever. Right. This has kind of reinvigorated them. Yes. Wait, we've never been the villain. We're running on the field and they're all like, boo, you suck, Mahomes. And they love it because they haven't had this. So, because of what you're saying, I do agree with you that that's kind of giving them a little extra juice because they're like, wait, we haven't checked the box on. We come on the road and kick out of everybody in their own stadium. That's kind of cool. Let me check a box there and add to my Hall of Fame resume. Come on, it's a special stuff what we're seeing from this guy. This is a all-timer of all-timers. He is already in the GOAT conversation. I mean, come on, Kelsey to Mahomes. He's still got a baby face. He's already breaking Brady's connection records with Gronk, right? I mean, he's already climbing up the list of all-time playoff wins and looking like he's only going to be behind Brady and Montana when this playoffs are over. I mean, it's crazy. It is. Having said that, I'm going to take the Ravens to win the football game. I was going to say at the same time, it's a great opportunity because I like the Ravens too. I don't see how they lose. Right,
I am going to go with him, right?
But
It
Chris,
scares me.
It's
of
an
course.
equally great opportunity, if not a bigger opportunity, for Lamar Jackson.
Like I told you guys last week, I think when they were the number 1 seed in 2019, they were like, oh, this is awesome. What a great year. This year, I don't think any of that meant crap. I don't think they were like, we're getting in the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's all that matters. And we'll do whatever we got to do that. They've been the best team in football throughout the year. Every time they've been in a big game or a big moment or, ooh, they could lose or whatever, they've shown up and kicked out of everybody. I'm going to take them 24-20. I don't feel comfortable about that. The Chiefs' D is awesome. They can play man, right? We saw Lamar and the Ravens offense have problems with the blitz last week. This is a much better defense than the Texans' defense, much more creative as well, right? So I worry about some of that. I wasn't necessarily impressed with the Ravens blitz plan there. And then, hey, the other thing is the Chiefs can protect, right? The Ravens don't have to get after the quarterback, but not with their front four. It's more through blitz. That could be scary. Mahomes knows how to pick up the blitz. Hey, let me redirect the protection. And all of a sudden you're blitzing and you're going, oh, we're blocked. And now we got 2 less guys in coverage and we got big holes down there. So that's where it is dangerous. But ultimately, I think the Ravens have more answers than years past. Their defense is phenomenal. They can throw the ball equally as good as they can run the ball. And I think, too, the Chiefs' D-line, Willie Gay, Derek Nottie not being healthy 100%, I worry about their interior part of their D-line with guys not named Chris Jones, and that the Baltimore Ravens might be able to run the ball on them. I took Ravens 24-20, Stugotz. I'm not betting money on it because the Chiefs are scary.
Niners, listen, they're playing the Lions this week. I know everyone wants the Lions to win, but I will say this, Chris. The 49ers are the more talented team, but if Brock Purdy plays against the Lions the way he played against the Packers last week, I don't see how the 49ers win. He has to be better.
100. I mean, 100. Stugotz, like, let's. You're being nice. He sucked last week.
Right. Okay.
He was fucking horrible. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
If he hits a few of those throws, they're gonna break the game open. But instead, he kept missing them, and he allowed the Packers to kind of have it both ways, where they played run defense and they played these really conservative coverages where they were basically like, here's 10-yard throw, here's 15-yard throw, but he kept missing them, so they were like, well, let's keep doing it. And he never got him out of it. I would think we get bounce back Brock Purdy this week, right? Mm-hmm. The 49ers, it's fair to question that they peaked too early, right? We know they hadn't played in a while. They certainly showed it in that football game. The Packers are talented, as we've been saying all year. There's a lot of talent there. Yep. There's no doubt. But, yeah, he's got to play better. And, Stugotz, to your point, I think it's going to be on him. The Lions are a team that usually go all in on whatever they got to do for that. Like, if you're in a run offense, they go all in to stop the run. If you get an empty in the shotgun, they rush 3 and drop 8. Like, they'll call your bluff, right? I would think they're going to go all in on stopping McCaffrey and go, we got to stop that, and then we'll make Brock Purdy prove to us that he can beat us with his right arm. I would think that's their approach. I honestly think that will be both teams' approaches. They're both going to go, wait, I don't want Gibbs. I don't want Christian McCaffrey tearing me up. I don't know if the quarterback can tear us up. Let's stop the run and make these quarterbacks prove it to us.
And which quarterback do you think will step up?
I think the 49ers are a better football team.
I agree.
I'm going to stay with the 49ers here and what I see there.
All right.
But again, I think there's some matchups here that the Lions certainly match up well with the 49ers and can make things interesting. But all in all, I see more avenues in which the 49ers can win the football game.
All right, quickly, and we'll get you out of here. What's going on in Philadelphia? What's happening there?
Well, I think we hit on the coordinator thing the whole year. I still think that's the biggest issue. Right? When Vic Fangio said yesterday that they were parting ways in Miami, I literally was like, oh, well, he's going to Philadelphia. I can guarantee that. He wanted to be the D coordinator of the Eagles last year. Some issues happened. He's from Pennsylvania. That's a great hire. Now, they got to find the right offensive guys there. And that's where Nick Sirianni, I know they're interviewing Kellen Moore. We'll see where they go. But, yeah, that to me is the biggest thing. And then Nick Sirianni's got to kind of work on the psyche of the team and the organization and all that. crazy end of the year, but
it feels like they're surrounding Sirianni with a bunch of head coaches in the event that they fire him 2 or 3 weeks in.
Well, maybe. Again, yeah, it's the spotlight's going to be on Sirianni here for sure, and the offensive coordinator thing is going to be very interesting. Again, because we saw that team, it's the best O-line in football. It's arguably the best duo receiver in football, and then it's a quarterback that regressed in a major way. So that's got to be concerning, and that's where they got to get that right.
All right, last question here. What's going on with Belichick? What's happening here?
Man, as we sit here, right? I mean, I know for the last 2-3 weeks I've come on here and gone, Atlanta, I know is like in the leader house, but I think that's probably not happening. If you had to, from what I know, and if you made me read the room, Belichick wants to go in there. He wants full control. He doesn't want a guy like Rich McKay having to answer to him. He probably wants more control over the roster. And Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot are like, wait, you're going to get rid of us for that guy who's probably going to retire in 2 years? And then where are you going to go there? Like, you sure you want to do that? So I think he's losing that political war behind the scenes. As it stands right now, it feels like Belichick's going to get left out in the dark and maybe be done. That's what I feel like right now.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
I know.
If I'm the Bills, I fire their coach and I hire him today. Like that's me. That's what I would do. I mean, they'd be better.
I listen. I'm not going to say
Sean
you're crazy
McDermott,
for that thought.
You like McDermott?
I do. I like McDermott a lot. I think McDermott's a hell of a coach.
I know.
I think Brandon Beane's done a lot of good things.
I know.
But like we just said, they need some more superstars. And the teams that we have left in the playoffs, we can rattle off superstars on their teams and go into a second hand, and that's just not the case with the Bills. And that, to me, is the big difference of why they can't get to the promised land.
All right, PFT with Mike Florio every single day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast, Football Night in America as well. He, like me, is sad because football is almost over. No Billy, no Mikey. I like this. I had Sims all to myself. This was great.
Damn. Most intelligent conversation we had all year. This is the best thing we did. Screwed the hell with those guys. We don't need them anymore.
I do, though.
All right, fine. You do. I don't.
You don't need them. All right. Thank you, buddy. We love you. We'll talk to you. I don't know. Maybe next week. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll figure it out, but I'll talk to you. Be good. Enjoy the weekend, man.
We'll break down the skills competition at the Pro Bowl.
No, thank you.
And we're back. Stugotz, the Belichick well is drying up, huh?
What do you mean?
I mean,
he's got a plan, Billy.
Okay, so you're not worried about this for him.
No.
He's playing chess.
Let me ask you guys. We have 2 minutes for you to do Stugotz, so we got to get to this quick.
We'll get to it.
Here's my question.
Yep.
What if he enjoys retirement and then he's like, you know what? Never mind.
I keep telling you this. There's no way he's going to enjoy retirement.
Okay.
Like, he's got nothing. Football is his life.
Yeah.
Does Bill Belichick enjoy anything?
Yes, his dog, lacrosse, and taking tours of the Naval Academy. That's it.
All right. We really need to get going on this because you're leaving yourself zero time to make these picks.
All right. It is time for this week's edition of STU-YA-GOTZ, presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code LAF, because life's more fun when you are in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm 5-5 in the postseason. Bad week last week. I was 1-3. I'm not doing it in the postseason. I did the first round. I'm not doing it in the second round. Yeah. Anyway, here are the picks for Championship Sunday. We start with the first game, the AFC Championship game. It's the Ravens. It's the Chiefs. The Ravens are -4. They're at home. It feels like it's their time. It feels like it's Lamar Jackson's time, and I have the Ravens winning the game and covering the spread. The Ravens win by 10 points at home. The Lions, +7. America's team, taking on San Francisco. San Francisco at home. The Lions are getting 7 points. Buy it up to 7.5. The Lions are going to win the game outright. It will be Ravens and Lions in Las Vegas. Me, Billy, Chris Sims, Mike Golick, the whole God bless football crew is going to be out there for Ravens Lions. Billy, if I'm right.
Oh, Mike, you won't be.
No, I won't.
Sorry.
Unless you're gonna
Well, pay for him?
Yeah, fly him out.
I'm not.
Oh.